LA faces $1 billion budget hole, warns of thousands of layoffs.
Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Los Angeles is facing a projected deficit of nearly $1 billion the next fiscal year. Key budget official painted a grim picture of the city's finances at council meeting on Wednesday. Warnings included the possibility of thousands of layoffs. These bad policies. The workers are the ones that are going to pay for this. It's an enormous hole to fill. The severity of the revenue decline paired with rising costs has created a budget gap that makes layoffs nearly inevitable. We are looking at dozens, not looking at dozens or even hundreds of layoffs, but thousands. The stark statements offer a rare glimpse, or the first glimpse into what is expected to be a challenging budget cycle for Mayor Karen Bass.
Have you no response to that? Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
So moving right along, she directed a game plan, ways to save between $500 million and $900 million in structural budgetary expenses. Let's see what the chart says. Oh, that doesn't look good. Liability claims, pensions. Let me get into those liability claims in a little bit. So the fundamental change. Our directive asks for plans to change the number, structure, and responsibilities of departments, cut contract expenses, and find payroll savings. This sounds real familiar on something else that's going on. Cities across the U.S. are facing tough budget decisions this year as inflation raises costs and pandemic-era stimulus aid sunsets. Chicago City Council passed a 2025 budget that closed at nearly $1 billion deficit, and in San Francisco, the city is projecting a budget shortfall of about $876 million for 2026 fiscal year. What do all these cities have in common? I don't know. Can't think of anything right now, but maybe you guys can help me out.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
The negative forecast is driven by a decline in revenue coupled with rising costs related to January's wildfires. Revenue is expected to drop $315 million below projections for the next fiscal year. When asked by Councilmember Hernandez for a historical comparison to understand the gravity of the current situation, Sable pointed to 2009, which was the first budget cycle after the 2008 financial crisis. Also, the city has under-budgeted costs for legal settlements, which have further pressured its finances. Let's look at that. LA is on the hook for more than $500 million in liability payouts in just 2 years for the costliest cases. I don't think that's very good either. Let's see, I think there's a chart in here. Housing discrimination, not good. Unmarked vehicle. Use of force. Here we go. City of LA liability payments by department in FY 2024. Oh, that's not a good chart, is it? Police department.
Have you nothing to say today?
All right, let's finish through this article here. Decaying infrastructure, we know that. All right, is this out of the norm? The short answer is yes. We talked to the city controller last week. He told us that if the current trends continue, decreases of revenue combined with overspending, the city may need to extend a hiring freeze, which could disrupt city services. And here's a chart of their liability payments by fiscal year. And that's gone up dramatically. Let's see what else has gone up dramatically. So I decided to go over to the city's page and look at the mayor's budget summary, or the mayor's proposed budget summaries for the last few years. So let's go to 2021. Where is the mayor? Right here. So the mayor, let's see the salary. 8.5 million. All right, let's go to the next year. The mayor, 9.1 million. All right, this is 22-23. Let's see salaries. Mayor, 9.4 million. Mayor, 10.1 million. Very interesting.
3 words for you. Treat yourself. Treat yourself 2011.
This is a mess. How did we get here and how bad will it be?
Pat, this is the worst kind of deja vu. Once again, the city of LA is facing a massive budget deficit, only this time it is worse than ever. LA needs cash, a lot of it. The city administrative officer gave city council a look at the books today, and it is bleak, announcing next year's budget gap is nearly $1 billion. Matt Szabo warned city leaders services and jobs, many jobs, will have to be cut to balance the city's budget, which is missing almost 20% of what it needs.
The severity of the revenue decline, paired with rising costs, has created a budget gap that makes layoffs nearly inevitable. We are not looking at dozens or even hundreds of layoffs, but thousands. While the layoffs may be necessary, it cannot and will not be the only solution. And I can tell you that the mayor is absolutely committed to preserving as many jobs and city services as possible as we face these economic headwinds.
In a statement, Mayor Karen Bass said, this year we must deliver fundamental change in the way the city operates and base our budget on how the city can best serve the people of Los Angeles and to best use their scarce budget dollars.
Plus 9 equals box, all right? That's where the cat goes.
Even though we know they're great.
So the closest that this would compare to would be, and I believe it was the 09-10 budget, which was the first year that the city felt the full impact of the crash in 2008 and the subsequent recession.
Crosstown LA shows that in the last fiscal year, the city of LA collected $110 million in parking fines. But with pensions, salaries, and other costs factored in, LA actually spent $65 million, only serving to widen the city's deficit.
Oh, with more, we are joined once again by Crosstown LA managing editor John Rigardi. Nice to see you, John. Let's delve into this piece by Nathan Elias. Explain how it's possible for the city to be losing money despite collecting over $100 million in parking fines.
Yeah, Cher, that's really a great and head-scratching question.
Dude. That's baseball, baby. Yeah.